When I said that I had technical difficulties, some of y'all comments I won't be able to see right now, and some of them I will have to answer later on today. Now, as y'all know, tomorrow is Valentine's. So we're going to take today, as we have our chocolate covered strawberries and our little arbormist going on, so we're going to put a little sweetness in today. Okay, Carmela, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so I am from San Antonio, Texas, a native from San Antonio, Texas. Of course, I grew up in the area, most dominantly Deborah Heights area that we consider on the east side of Texas, of San Antonio. And Deborah Heights. So in other words, so that's more so about me. I like music. I'm into music. I'm into a lot of things, but as far as my craft and everything, I'm gonna let you handle that, and then I'll jump into it. Other than that, I am a native of San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah, excuse me for me. I'm gonna kind of adjust this just a little bit. Okay, now that's a little bit better. I had to actually use my Kindle today because the computer, I accidentally unplugged it, so it's going through its little trip today. But let me see here. Yeah, the CD dropping on next month.
Correct.
Okay, you was not always gone by Carbella.
No.
You was formerly also named as Princess Chaos.
Correct.
Can you tell me a little bit what was behind that?
Okay, so Princess Chaos was the name that I had originally had when I was with the group PKO. Okay. I was actually named Princess Chaos from Philip Martin.
All right.
Of PKO. We called him Nino at the time, or Pony J, and Magic Mark Outing. Okay. So that's the name I had when I was with them.
Okay. I like the name though. Okay, tell us a little bit about how was you birthed into the music industry and who was the one that discovered you?
Okay, so I was brought into the music industry through PKO, actually, through PKO. But it's kind of started because the guy from PKO was dating my friend. So Philip was dating my friend at the time named Tracy. And then Tracy told him, I have a sister that could sing, but me and her was so close. I was just like her little sister. And then Philip Martin was like, we need somebody. Right. We need a female from San Antonio. And so then when he heard me, he was like, yeah, you on. So he was like, yeah, you can do it. I remember I was sitting in my mother's restroom and it was just like so beautiful. I was like, oh, you gonna put me on? And he was like, yeah, but let me talk to Magic. Okay. But Magic Mark Outing, whom has the restaurant now downtown. Okay. He was the one that actually with Philip Martin, who discovered me to say, he okayed everything. Okay. Pony J brought me to him and said, we have a bad female. And at that time, I was doing little bubblegum rhymes, but I was still live.
Okay. Did you need time to think about it, or did you just jump on it right then and there?
Well, as a child, I was actually just 14, so I would say a child. As a kid, I was excited and everything, but I still had my parents, They had to okay everything. Right. I think without them, they actually had to even sign the contract,
Was it hard for them to make that decision?
Well, see, my mother, everybody knows my mother's house. Everyone was there at my mother's house, and she was like, she's not really into music like my dad is or was when he was alive. So she had to think about it, but nevertheless, she didn't really mind at that time.
Okay, good. She supported you.
Yes, she did.
Okay, now, I read something about Mr. Bill Bushwick.
Okay.
He considered you, may he rest in peace, because from my understanding, he passed away last year.
Correct.
Okay. He labeled you as one of the dopest female MCs in the world.
Because I am.
Okay. I'm getting ready to ask you how you feel about that, but I got that.
I am, and I can say I'm very blessed for my talent and my craft. Yes. It's just that being from more of the South, it's harder to break through. And at the time when Rap A Lot Records actually started, it was like, the Ghetto Boys had already kind of been out. Choice was actually the first female rapper on Rap A Lot. Okay. She was discovered from Willie D. But then what happened is, after I did a show with PKO, I remember the photographer. I remember how he looked and everything. He was like, take a picture. And I was like, no. He said, come on, you never know who may see you. I was like, okay. So I got over there and posed. And 2 weeks later, the A&R rep from Rap A Lot Records, who was Arthur Smith, he saw me, and that's when he made the call to me. He called my home, and then he asked to speak to me, of course, and I was all excited, and he said, well, we would have to talk to your parents, but I'm sure I can get Mr. J. Prince in order to, fly you down here and get you signed. And of course, I'm all happy at that time. I was pretty much, I think I was just 17.
Okay.
And really,
by Texas,
yeah.
You grown.
Well, no, I wasn't.
Okay.
Not by Texas, not by 17.
Okay.
I was 17 years old. And then what happened, of course, we still had to ask my mom.
Right.
And see, I went to a private school, and then I went to a public school, Pole Middle School, and then Highlands
Which
High
private
School.
school did you go to?
Our Lady of Victory.
Okay, I was going to say Gerard.
Oh, word? Okay, so that's still over there in the neighborhood.
Yes.
So my mom, everybody was always kind of strict on me, but I was the youngest on both sides. So
right.
I can understand that. So I had to ask my mom and stuff, and my mom was like, okay, we going through this again. And I was like, well, Mom, so after I had to go through all of that, and she saw it was on a bigger scale, then that's when we had to get our attorney involved.
Oh, yeah. Okay, can you tell us a little bit about Mr. Bushwick?
Well, yes, I can tell you a lot about it. Rest in peace. And so Bushwick Bill was the first one to actually take me up under his wing in Rap A Lot. Yes, Fifth Ward boys and everybody from the Fifth Ward Circle and the Rap A Lot crew, we were all like family. But Bill was the one that, would be like, come on, you're going to stay here in my house tonight. You're going to write. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. But then actually when I got signed with J. Prince, my mom had signed me over. I was he was actually my legal guardian. Because we had to go to court. We had to do everything. I was actually signed over to him. Actually, he was so good. Let me tell you what he did. He actually paid out the rest of my child support.
Oh, wow.
Yes, he was like, well, he had to, because then my mom had to sign me over to him at 17.
Okay.
So it was new, but, under J. Prince and everyone else who was at Rap A Lot, they actually, I actually grew up under them. They actually had to keep an eye on me, and I had to be here. But Mr. Prince,
right.
James Prince, he had everything so straightened out. It was so beautiful. I stayed in one of his homes and different things. He had me so set up. It was just so beautiful, and it was just like, okay, I'm living the life at 17. So basically, Mr. Prince became my guardian at 17.
Okay, now you speak about Mr. Bushwick and how he was with everybody as a one, but what was your feeling about him, with your relationship?
Okay, well, I will tell you, everybody who knows us know that Bill and I, we would fight and argue in a minute in front of everyone, because Bill is the type, actually, I have to say he was a genius, on a certain level, because he studied a lot, and then his philosophy of stuff was just so different. And if I didn't agree with him, we would argue that out.
Oh, wow.
So, and I'm one of those, I'm very outspoken. We would argue in front of people, in front of producers, at shows and anywhere we were at. And he was like, okay, then finally he told me one day, come here, Kay, let's don't do that. Let's don't argue. If we got some differences, let's take it to the back. Right. And I was like, okay, well, we can take it to the back, but just don't start nothing. But Bill, I loved him. Actually, his last show was here with Little Sin and myself, Big Mike, some of the Rap A Lot family, and that was his last show before he had passed. But he was more so like my brother. Like, I could call him. He let me be on his albums and everything. It's just phenomenal. But like I said, we had our differences, but overall, he was really good to me. And I've met a lot of people in the industry because of Bill as well.
Okay. You performed and appeared in many special events and occasions.
Yes, I did.
With people that's well-known artists, such as Cameo, and you mentioned Lil Sin, the Birthday Bash. What other events for other artists that you appeared in to where you performed? Okay,
well, I did a lot of stuff back in the day, with Rap A Lot Records, like with the shows and the concerts. And then now, and of course on all their gold and platinum albums. So, I'm on some of the Rap A Lot albums and different things. But as far as my performance, I just got back into it when I started doing the show with Lil Sin and, just trying to get everything, formulated the right way. Okay. Because in this business, it's crazy. I'm used to Rap A Lot Records and J. Prince and them being my surrounding. So when you take me out of the ocean and I'm a fish, I have to learn how to swim myself. Right. So everybody always asks what happens with my deal with Rap A Lot. It was just a man dominant thing at the time. It never, basically I was still on contract with them forever. Wow. But I was just able to kind of do stuff on their albums because everybody on Rap A Lot was basically a male, you know, and I could get in where I fit in. So when you
Right.
take me out of the ocean and I'm a fish trying to swim, I have to learn, I got to, you know, see how to get back into the water. So when I did finally, reach that point,
Mm-hmm.
I'm at the point to where, okay, let me see how we're going to do this. So then I had to go about getting, after I had said my prayers and asked God to lead this for me, I had to go about getting a new manager.
Right.
Then getting an agent, and through the people that Bill had already connected me to, which were the managers for Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Okay.
IMG. So, and then they did a lot of things with Bone Crusher and everything like that. Through that, I met a well-respected man named Dre.
Okay.
And he's an ENR rep.
Okay.
So from him, other connections and doors just start opening because he's in the world, in the industry world. He knew everybody.
Okay.
A lot of why I am connected today, I can tell you, through the grace of God, it is strictly because of Dre. Dre actually is the one, he can call like Fantasia on the phone. Because he's in the industry.
Right.
So he'll call them, you know, hey, Carbella, she's coming back out. She was with Rap A Lot. And being that my resume was so good because it was with Jay Prince, the godfather of rap, I mean, come on.
Right.
You know, of course, everybody's like, okay, she was with James. Okay, so we're going to give her a chance.
Okay. What is your feelings and opinion on the rap music back then compared to the music now?
I say it was a lot of the real world back then, because it was more of the struggle. And that's what we went through, you know, trying to break doors and everything. Because when you think about it, Ghetto Boys were the first ones from the South to make noise. Not the South, but the South to really make noise and break in some doors.
Right.
You know, just like PKO were the first artists here in Texas, you know, to make noise. It was some other artists out, but to actually make that noise.
Right.
So I would say the music was more of a real life story then. I'm not saying it isn't now, but of course then it was like, okay, how we gonna get this money? We got to do this, we got to do that. More so it's of twerking and dancing and everything, which is all fun and stuff. But, you know, it was just more real, I think.
Yeah, because I could say the music back then, I mean, I listened to people like Ice Cube, Snoop, and I mean, when it came down to women, I didn't hear too much of, like I'm hearing now, of the disrespect towards women. So how do you feel about that, with that type of difference?
Okay, we're gonna be real today, right?
You be real today. We
Everything is
today.
real. Okay, everything is real. Okay.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. Okay, as far as the disrespect, it just depends on how you look at it, because you can say, okay, I'm this, I'm that. I'll try to use the right words. You can say I'm this, I'm that, but you know, to be honest, sometimes it's a lot of women like to be called certain things because sometimes it may be a turn on to the man that they're with. You know, so I can't say that it's all bad. Yeah, if somebody just be like, yeah, you be so and so, so and so. Some women are accustomed to that, and then sometimes it may be like, turn me on. So, you know, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but I'm not saying it's also a good thing. But it just depends on the person, you know, and where you're at and with whom you're with.
Okay, we need a sip of tea, for it is said you are the blood relative of Yolanda Whitaker. Yes. But let me tell you, it's a lot of us. It's a lot of females. My grandmother had like 11 sisters and 2 brothers. Right.
So Yolanda and I are only the two only out here in the industry world. We have a cousin named Tracy Taylor. A lot of people know her. Suki Reed. She has a 517 clothing line coming out. So she started actually MOC in the group. It was herself and myself and Suzette Hemphill. So we started that at the Cameo. So actually, yes, she is to answer the question, she's my blood cousin. Our grandmothers are sisters.
Okay, that's a blessing. So in that, knowing that Yo-Yo is your cousin, did y'all learn from each other on certain techniques and how to catch the attentions of the audience, or did y'all just pick up just on your own?
Well, see, Yolanda and them Yolanda and her sister Dawn, they used to come down here for the summer. So they weren't actually raised from here. They were raised up in LA. So every summer we had to go to LA, or they had to come down here. But when we went to LA, we seen other family and stuff. But Yolanda and them would always come down here, and everybody would always be at my mama's house. Okay. But to answer that question, did we learn from each other? I say I learned a lot from her as far as, you know, how to maintain and respect myself in this business and what to do and different things. Because she's, you know, in order for her to get to where she is, she's taken some losses.
Yeah.
So she deserves to be where she is now.
Right.
You know, she's went through it, you know, but at the same time, I look at her and I've asked her some questions. And I remember when I laid a song with her in LA, it's old to me, but new to you all. She was like, you're just like a fish in the ocean trying to learn how to swim, get back to the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was like a fish that was taken out to sea too. And she said, really, cousin? You just got to start doing stuff, and one door open, one door lead to this, one door lead to that, and that's what it has. So I learned that doors that close don't necessarily mean that that's a bad thing.
Right.
It may be a great thing because the other door over here may be greater for me.
Exactly.
So yeah, I did learn a lot from her. But I know you say Yolanda, you know, it's my cousin, but I did want to tell you, my dad used to sing for the Ohio Players.
Oh,
yeah, he used to be in the group with the Ohio Players. So he grew up actually in Ohio with Roger Troutman that lived across the street at the time.
Oh, wow.
Zap. So we all know Computer Love.
So that's my song right there.
So before the group Ohio Players actually made it famous, it was like a couple of albums before. My dad had got out the group because I was born.
Okay.
And then my mother was like, no, you need to give up the music. You know, she was, I'll say, a dream killer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I kind of, you know, watch the people I'm around, because it hurt my dad, but it blessed him to see it through me. So right when he came out the group, bam, they hit. You know, so, and he was just kind of playing the bass and the organ and different things like that.
Okay, now you speak on your dad. You know, we all see things from like the Jacksons, the movie and everything, where the father put them out there to get well known, to work with them.
Mm-hmm.
Selena, when he discovered that his daughter had a talent, he pulled his daughter in. And you know, there's always that daddy's little girl.
Correct.
So, can you tell us, how did you learn from dad? And when did you discover that you actually had this talent?
I remember we were at my grandmother's house. And see, I have to say this because my dad is so precious. He's so sweet. Oh my gosh. I am a daddy's girl. Everyone who knows me knows I'm a daddy girl. And yes, my dad is of a biracial family. So I will tell you, his mother played the piano.
Okay.
His mother played the piano, so she sung and she played the piano, and everybody pretty much well, she was well known in the day.
Okay.
So my dad, he would always be in the back jamming, and he said, here, take the mic. And I took the mic, and I remember my aunt and everyone was down here from Ohio, and I just started hosting and everything. My cousin, Carla, everyone was in there, and then we just had a great time.
Wow.
And my dad said, you're going to be a star watch. And I was like, I sure am. I loved it. Like, oh my gosh, he would pick me up and we would just do music. So actually, that's where I gotten it from. You know,
Okay.
I write a lot. I read a lot because my dad would always write music. I can read music so well. It's just a passion of mine. Like, I mean, rock and roll. It's not just rap. It's not just R&B, jazz. Oh my gosh. He would be like, listen to the melody. Just feel it. And I'd be like, okay. And then he'd be like, try to do something out, off of there.
Right.
So when he saw it through me, it was like, whoa, okay, my baby, she's going to be something.
Well, that's what you call not a dad, but a father.
A father.
It's a father. And I'm
Yes,
very proud of him.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of girls nowadays that wish they had a father that.
And he's recently passed, like about a year ago, but oh my gosh. And he was alive to see the struggles I was still going through.
Okay.
But I can say, even in this industry, he helped me so much with my children. He helped me. Oh my gosh, he was a phenomenal father, and everybody who knows my dad knows that he liked to puff, pass, and do music. Okay?
Okay, before we actually get into what we got on the topic, let me ask you this. Is this the first album that you're going to be dropping next month?
It's the first whole album I'm putting to myself.
Okay, what are the songs that you have?
Okay, I am doing How Many Licks, the remix. I'm doing it as a down south version of Little Kim. We know Little Kim.
Yes.
She did it first. So, but I am doing that one with, right now I have, it's the Chauncey remix, I say, but when I do the How Many Licks, it will be with G from Silk. So we've already confirmed all that. That will be laid. So we're going to try to add a little down south, version with that. Plus, they saying, let me lick you up and down. So we're going to try to mix all this in and just make it happen. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to be doing that one. I won't go to Houston for that one. I'll be doing that one out of Young Fingers studio here in San Antonio, Texas. He's also a platinum producer as well.
Okay, cool. I like that. Okay. Now talk about relationships with you.
Ooh, y'all, that's a good topic. Let me have it. Can I drink some?
Yeah, drink.
Okay,
Have a drink on that.
Yeah, matter of fact, cheers. Okay.
First to start off, relationships.
That part. Okay. So that was good. Let me do it again. Okay, I'm ready. Go ahead.
Okay, since Valentine's Day is tomorrow, tell me a little something about what is your thoughts on love, and have you ever truly been in love?
Okay. Okay, that was a good. Let me drink a little bit.
Drink another.
No, I'll tell you how it go. Okay, so honestly, as far as love, I'll say when I was younger, I was in love. Have I had the feelings of love start coming back on me now that I'm older? I would say recently, but at the same time, you know, some of those